Byron Blake coming with some more overt acts. And it's breaking down, Byron Blake is breaking down WACK 100 actually being charged. I'm sorry, Big U actually being charged allegedly with the assault of WACK 100 and going from an overt act to an actual criminal case. Let's jump into this content. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Wack 100 seems to be having a meltdown. Now y'all know Wack. He think he the big bad boogeyman. He likes.
And if y'all haven't done so yet, follow JBP Reactions. That's Byron Blake's new page.
Some real extravagant, extreme story to tell about a person. Well, I'm not really one of those people that usually, fits into the category of people that Wack has his encounters with. So he don't really know how to take it. I wake up this morning and this dude is commenting on my YouTube channel. Now, it was about 5 or 6 a.m. where I was at. So that means it's about maybe 6, 3 West Coast time, if he's on the West Coast. But check him out. Hey, little guy, 2004 to 2019, weirdo. But you couldn't come outside those years. You're a bozo. Now, I want to start this off by saying you kind of right to a degree. I was incarcerated, not all of those years, but for half of that time frame, I was incarcerated. So technically, I couldn't come outside. But
nah, you couldn't. If you was incarcerated, you for sure can't come outside. That's a part of the punishment.
Y'all see the response. Man, tell your exposers, pull the paperwork. I was doing my shit on a grand level. I would have ran circles around all of your little homies. And I stand on that still. Anybody that consider themselves Wack's little homie or whatever you want to call you, I would have run circles around you niggas. Now, normally, when a person talks like this, Wack get all, yeah, nigga, you want to run fast, all that other shit. Or he go, I'm going to go get the exposers. So, I try to beat him to it, man. Go get the exposers, tell him pull the paperwork. He knows that he can't play that game with me. And this is where he finds himself between a rock and a hard place. Because it's not because, I understand. I don't have anything for you to expose, sir. I'm not a snitch. I'm not a rat. I never participated in any of that type of activity, so that's usually the go-to for guys like 1090 Jake or Wack 100. When somebody challenges them, they try to discredit you. Oh, well, he a rat, so you shouldn't listen to him. Now the shoe is on the other foot. They are being labeled the rats with the documentation to support it, and they don't have a way to get around it. This document that you see on your screen right here, this is driving Wack crazy. It's driving them crazy.
Yeah, that's the document that I have been referencing is when Big U's lawyer referred to Wack as an informant and saying that Big U having a distaste for an informant is not actually a crime or anything that he could be charged with. And it was upon that time where the government goes, well, you know what? I think that we should actually charge him with this.
Because this is the same paperwork that he was using to argue his point on the Vlad TV interview. Well, the lawyer just said right there that nothing happened, so how can I be charged? Yeah, he also said you were an informant as well. Expressing disapproval of an informant is not a criminal case, by the way. So Wack is in a jam right now because he wants to combat this, but he knows that I know that legally a lawyer cannot, if a lawyer implies, suggests, leaves room for a person to infer that you are an informant when you are in fact not, that's defamation per se. They don't even need you to, all they need to, is you're not an informant and they called you informant. That's enough because they assume that calling a person an informant means that they involved in some type of criminal activity or around criminal activity. It's a lot to go with it, but legally it's against the code of ethics for an attorney to say such a thing without any evidence or proof of that claim. That's simple.
Yeah, for Big U's lawyer to refer to WACK 100 as an informant in legal documents, legal paperwork, would be crazy shit that not be true. And I would think that a lawyer would know better than to not do, You feel me? So it's a tricky, sticky, micky situation.
Wack don't know how to get around that. How do you? Because if you file a lawsuit and you actually go at the lawyer, then now you opening the door for everything else to come out. The lawyer has to defend himself from you claiming that he falsely called you an informant. So now he got to put out the information that really makes you an informant, and you won't be able to get a protective order.
Yeah, that's true. Because if the lawyer calls you an informant, then you say I'm not an informant. You would think that the lawyer would have no problem proving that you are an informant.
Or none of that type of stuff for it because it's a civil case. It's a civil lawsuit. So, like I said, dude is in between a rock and a hard place. If y'all notice, 600 won't say a word to me. He never says 600 knows that I know, but he won't. He never gonna say a word to me because he know who to play with, who not to play with. He played over there in Busterville with the other Eddie Boy. You know, Eddie Boy is really good at shooting subliminals, but he know not to come barking up this tree either. You know, and that's the problem that Wack has. Any of these guys, usually they go to somebody like 1090 Jake. Y'all know they all talk behind the scenes. Wack, SETI, 1090 Jake, they all talking to each other behind the scenes. They all got the same problem, but none of them can figure out how to solve it. Byron Blake exposed 1090 Jake. Byron Blake exposed SETI Nash. Byron Blake exposed WACK100. Usually they come out, they run a narrative on the person. Oh, look, he a snitch. Here go the paperwork. And a person has to spend so much time combating those narratives that he doesn't have the opportunity to lay out his own argument against them. Also, most people don't have the right information in order to put this type of stuff out. Not just information as far as intel about situations, but people don't know how to find the information. They don't know how to find the case laws. They don't know how to find the legal arguments that support the stuff that they say in their videos. And so most times they get it out to you, but it's not in a way that's articulate where you can understand it. And it's not.
Well, a lot of times these dudes, number one, don't know what they're talking about, so it's hard for them to articulate a situation that they're not able to actually understand and comprehend, and then at the same time be able to process. So that's a thing. And then past that, when you have dudes like Wack giving out the information, you know, he's only going to allow you the information that he wants to see. You know what I mean? Or he wants you to see. So, you know, it's just a very icky, micky, vicky, tricky, sticky situation.
In a way where they showing you documents to support the position they taking in order to convince you that what they are saying to you is a fact. And this ain't a shot at none of the other content creators that be going at Wack, you know, because everybody got their lane. Some people expose him in different ways. You know, it's certain things that I can't really touch on. I'm not from California. I don't know nothing about his hood. So, you know, things like that I can't touch on. But when it comes to this paperwork, and these legal breakdowns and shit like that, like I got that. So, you know, that's all I'm saying. And Wack normally will employ someone to come on and sound professional and act like they know what they talking about and try to put a person in a trick bag with, you know, some paperwork. And I just don't have none of that attached to my name. And so that's not the route that he can take. And again, that's one of the biggest things that I take pride in. You know, I done went over my record with y'all a little bit. I done kind of broke down my record with y'all a little bit. And y'all see, you know, how I was out here living and what was going on and what was going on. But
Hey, man, we glad Byron Blake. It's crazy to see that Byron Blake, you know, has changed his life and has, you know, moved his life into a more positive light. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but you know the things that he's gone through and able to overcome. But we're watching his paperwork, and just so you guys understand exactly what's going on, in the overt act number 164, Byron Blake is proving that Big U's lawyer is in fact referring to him as an informant. On January 12, 2023, on an intercepted call, defendant Henley said he wanted to, quote, beat the SHIT out of WACK100. The defense response, which is Big U's lawyer, responds, the government has not identified what action, if any, followed because none did, expressing disapproval towards an informant. Just want you guys to kind of really pay attention to this part right here. Disapproval for an informant. That word right there, that's the one where we're looking at. Disapproval for an informant in a private conversation is not obstruction of justice, witness tampering, or a RICO predicated act. And that situation has led to Big U being charged with an assault because Wack, the defense says, well, you're right. No act followed, but we're going to charge you with this assault anyway. That all being said, man, make sure you hit that like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, hit all. Tap in what Byron Blake has going on at the JBP Reaction channel. And we'll be back here to the next one.
It's like a shield. It's like a badge of honor. It's like armor. You know, they can't just pop up and say, hey, here goes some paperwork, shut up. You know, that's usually what he do. Somebody say something to him and he'll, oh, here go your, yeah, no wonder. I love being, you know, immune to that. But with that said, I'm going to wrap this one up, man. I ain't got too much to tell y'all. Just, hey, look at Wack, y'all. He in the comment sections trying to troll because he doesn't have a valid response. He doesn't have a valid response. So he putting it in the comment section. That's all I want to say. Hit that hype button before y'all get up out of here. Hit that like button before y'all get up out of here.
And y'all know it's red dots to the left. You know the rest. Say a prayer and be blessed. We gone.